Good afternoon and welcome back to another Partner Spotlight. I'm so excited to have on the other side of the screen here, we have Mimi Griffin. Mimi is the president and CEO of MSG Promotions, and their company is the event management company for the upcoming 2022 U.S. Senior Open, as well as the exclusive provider of the U.S. Open corporate hospitality. So Mimi, you'll have to correct me if I messed that up, but we're so excited to have you on today.
Well, thank you, Bri. And no, you did actually very well. The Senior Open is coming to Saucon Valley in 2022, and since it's in our backyard, that's why we're involved with that one.
Yeah, it's great. And I know this is not your first rodeo running an event out at Saucon Valley. I had the opportunity to visit that country club not too long ago when you had the preview day for the Senior Open. So would you mind just talking a little bit about Saucon Valley Country Club and maybe their history of hosting championship level events?
Sure, would be happy to. This will be the third Senior Open that Saucon Valley is hosting, and that will be the first time any club in the country has hosted more than 2 Senior Opens. We also hosted the Women's Open in 2009, and all 3 championships that we've previously hosted have been wildly successful, and that's one of the reasons why the USGA was more than happy to agree when the club extended an invitation for another Senior Open. They were happy to work within the club's time frame because this year, 2021, or 2020 rather, is the 100th anniversary of the club itself. But 2022 is going to be the 100th anniversary of the old course on which the Senior Open will be played. So the USGA was very amenable to working with the club in that timing so that we could celebrate both the centennial of the old course as well as our 3rd U.S. Senior Open.
And when you talk about celebrate, it's just such a cool milestone to be the 100th year. But I know I even talked about it out at the course. I think by the time 2022 comes around, there is going to be so much pent up energy to go out and attend events again. So I think the timing, is going to be so awesome. And I know you said they've been wildly successful, and I just picture, and this is what I'm putting out into the ether, that 2022 will be wildly successful too. And so you have quite a few big names who, by the time 2022 rolls around, they'll be within the Senior Open playing field. So can you talk about maybe some of the golfers that we might see in June?
Absolutely, Bri. That's another reason why the club was so keyed in on 2022, because by that time we'll have Phil Mickelson, Jim Furyk, Ernie Els, Steve Stricker, Freddie Couples, just to name a few of the really key marquee names that will be eligible to play in the Senior Open. And people like a Phil Mickelson, back when we had the 2000 or even the 92 Senior Open, we had Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus and Lee Trevino and Chichi Rodriguez and Tom Watson. We had names that transcended the sport. And all of a sudden, Senior Open is getting to a point where we're accomplishing that once again, because somebody like Phil Mickelson, even a non-golfer, can relate to, he's just a good guy and people love to cheer for him. And he will be eligible to play here at Saucon Valley, as will Jim Furyk, who is a Lancaster, Pennsylvania native. So we're going to have all sorts of attention from not just our own region, but outside of our region. And we'll be able to draw from all over Pennsylvania because of the names that are going to be eligible to play.
Yeah, and that name recognition, I think, is just so incredible. So even when you think of a golf tournament and a golf championship, so for someone who maybe they don't play the sport, they're not into golf at all, how do you convince them to come out and experience a championship? Because I golf, I'm very amateur, but there is something so special about the energy out when you go to a championship level event that I want everyone to experience. So how do you kind of position that?
Well, you're teeing me up for, and that's an analogy I wanted to use, you're teeing me up for all the right talking points, Bri. You're absolutely right. This is an event that will be a celebration for our region. It will get over 16 hours of national and international TV coverage. So for one, we have the opportunity as a community and as a region to be able to put our best foot forward that will be seen by millions of people all over the world, literally. But in addition to that, when you get 20 to 25,000 people a day in the confines of a space like Saucon Valley, there is an energy that is just electric. And even people who could care less about golf get carried up in this energy. And it's something that you really need to come out and see and feel. In addition to that, we had very successful senior opens in the past, but we're not going to rest on those laurels. We have in the planning stage an area for an upgraded ticket area that's right in the middle of the 3 finishing holes. And we're going to have all sorts of interactive games and activities for people who could care less about golf to come and really enjoy a taste of the Lehigh Valley. We're really excited to be able to unveil those plans as they continue to evolve and finalize.
And I saw the schematics for what the course will look like. And it's, you know, I would like to say it's truly a transformation, but really when you go out to Saucon Valley, the place already has a pristine feel to it that transforming it too much would be too much. And I think you're really, it seems like you're preserving, you know, what everyone loves about that place. And as you know, at Discover Lehigh Valley, we now have an alliance with our economic development as well as the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber, and we're all getting behind the idea of Lehigh Valley made possible. And this is the story of this championship. You know, we're going into the 8th time that Saucon has hosted one of these, a championship level event. You know, we're providing opportunities to showcase the Lehigh Valley, like you said, in all of its glory. And so it really is a testament. And, you know, like we talked about, your organization's located here in Allentown. So this whole story it's truly made possible, even just looking at the history of Saucon Valley, that it was started by the businessmen of Bethlehem Steel. That is really just a very cool story that I hope we can continue to tell, you know, especially on the international front when we have that TV time. So, now I'm just beside myself on
Got you
where.
all excited. That's great.
That's right. Yeah, I feel like every time I talk about golf too, I want to go out and hit the driving range to see how I do. But okay, let's talk about you for a little bit. I know you went to school at Lehigh University, got your MBA, correct? And
got my MBA there. Yep. Went to Pitt for undergraduate and then went on to Lehigh for my MBA.
Okay, great. There's always a connection to this place.
Well,
so many people.
My father and both my brothers went to Lehigh, so it was definitely a family school. My sister went to Lafayette, so there were some hard times around Thanksgiving when the Lehigh Lafayette game was being played. But otherwise, it's the Lehigh Valley in particular has held a place in the hearts of our family for a long, long time. And so it was a natural progression for me to be able to go to Lehigh for my MBA after I finished my undergraduate economics degree at University of Pittsburgh.
And so you must know the Lehigh Valley pretty well. And we always like to ask our guests who we spotlight, you know, when you have a visitor come in, and let's say we have someone coming in for the tournament. And so, you know, or the championship. So they come into town, they've never been to the Lehigh Valley. What are a few key points that you like to direct them to really showcase what we're about?
All right, I'm going to take something from each of the 3 cities. I think Allentown here, I love the Allentown Parkway. It is just an incredible series of parks and a great place to just go. And although there might be a lot of people there, you really feel like you're getting away from all of the congestion and activity. In Bethlehem, there is nothing like downtown Bethlehem, and especially around the holidays. So if I have any guests that are coming around the holidays, that's the first place I take them, because it's magical to be able to walk those streets with all the decorations, with the history that just screams at you as you walk those streets. And then with Easton, I love the Easton Market. You want to talk about a culinary delight. I mean, you can get just about one of anything that you want, food and beverage wise there. It is a great place. And I love to go tubing on the Delaware. So we will do that in the summer. We'll go tubing, then we'll go back to the Easton Market. And after we've gotten an appetite from our activities, we'll go there to satiate that.
Well, that's what I like the Easton market too, especially if you have picky visitors, like if you're with your
Oh,
family and they want,
oh,
everyone wants something a little different. So it's a nice way to kind of
yeah.
appease everyone. So that's really great. I know you are in the thick of planning. So planning a championship event, the execution of everything, securing all of your hospitality sponsors. It's a lot of work. I know when we shared messages before, it's 3 to 4 years of planning leading up to the event. 95% of what you see happens during the planning 4 years in advance. So
Yes.
um, I so thank you for taking the time to jump in and talk with us today. We'll definitely stay tuned and make sure we're promoting the championship on our calendar to get people out there and experiencing all the glory of it, because now I'm just amped on it. Is there
Well,
is there
you're one of the best spokespeople that we could have, Bree. So thank you.
Great, good. I'll keep speaking it until 2022. So, is there anything before we sign off today that you want to leave our viewers with?
Just that this will be a once in a decade opportunity to come out and see the best senior golfers in the world compete for their most coveted title, but it will also be a happening that you're not going to want to miss.
I like that happening. Great. Well, thank you so much, Mimi. We will stay tuned and definitely stay in touch.
Thank you, Bree.